Alright, I'm going to do the tutorial for 6 and work it out from there. Alright, so for this particular question, it wants to know what is the next term in each of these, the next term. So what's needed is for us to work out the ratio, because all we need to do to get the next term is to multiply this term by the ratio, and that will be equal to the next term. So our ratio for part A will be 18 over 6, which is 3, or it could have been 6 over 2, which is also 3. So R is equal to 3. So for our next number, all we need to do is multiply 18 by 3. So 18 by 3, 3 8s are 24, 3 1s are 3, 54. So the next number is 54. Likewise, 54 times 3, times 3, I didn't put the 3 there, is equal to 3 4s are 12, 3 5s are 15, 16. So that's our 162, that's our next term. And 162 times 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 6s are 18, 3 1s are 3, 4, 86. So 486 is the next term. So we've got 18, 54, 162, 486. That's very good. Alright, so for B it'll be the same idea. All we need to do is work out R. So R will be a term divided by its previous term. This is the common ratio. So this looks like a half. Equally, a term divided by its previous term is a half. So clearly R is a half. Okay? Just two examples of getting the same thing. So to get the next term, all we need to do is multiply by a half, and we'll get that. So 3 times a half is 3 times a half is equal to 3 on 2. So the next term after 3 is 3 on 2. Likewise, we can take 3 on 2 and multiply it by a half, and so we'll get 3 on 4. So the next term is 3 on 4. Likewise, we can take 3 on 4, multiply by R, which is a half, and we'll get 3 over 8. You see the patterns coming. So 6, 12, 3, 3 on 2, 3 on 4, 3 on 8. Easy. Okay, so for the next one, C, same kind of thing. I might just put that up here. 8. Take a term and its previous term is the common ratio. So that's equal to R. So minus 4 on 8 is a half, negative a half. Likewise, take a term divided by minus 4. That's R, and it's minus a half. So in this case, it's minus a half. So each of the terms, the next term, this one here, will get multiplied by minus a half this time. So 2 times minus a half is minus 2 over 2, which is minus 1. So our next term here is minus 1. Likewise, we take minus 1 times it by minus a half. Minus times a minus is a plus. 1 times a half is a half. So that's our next term. Multiply that by minus half. So we'll get minus 1 quarter. And that's your third term. So we've got minus 1 half minus a quarter. That's how we're getting our terms. Fairly straightforward, I think. Yeah. Alright, let's have a look at this. Use the formula for the nth term to answer the following. Find the sixth term. Find the sixth term. So, what's the formula for the nth term? Well, the first thing about this we notice is that we've got the first terms. So the formula they're talking about, the nth term, is A1 times R to the power n minus 1. So for each of these, we'll have to do 2a. So let me just cordon that off. I'll see if I can just do it here for the moment before I move over the page. 2a. The sixth term will be a6, which is equal to the first term, 3, times r. Now we've got to work out r. So 6 and divided by the previous one is 2. So r is 2. 12 divided by 6, r is 2. So r is 2. Now 6 minus 1 is 5. So we've got 3 times 2 to the power 5. So 2 to the power 5 is 100. That's quite a lot. 2 to the power 5 is 2 2s, 4 2s, 8 2s, 16. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use my calculator. Be smart for once. Okay, so 2 to the power 5. Store them over here. 2 to some power 5 is 32. 32 times 3 is 96. So the sixth term is 96. Very good. I think I'm going to go to... Excuse me, that's very rude. I think I'm going to go to the other sheet for B. If only that I'd like to B. Excuse me, that's terrible. So what R? R is going to be a term divided by its previous term. A1 in this case is 81. So what have we got there? 3 9s are 27. 9 9s are 81. So 3 over 9. So one of those will cancel. So we'll get 1/3. That's a long way of doing it, isn't it? So we've managed to do, now we can check that with 9 divided by 27 if we want to. So taking the last term divided by the previous term, it's still the same thing, isn't it? So that's a 1, still gets 1/3. So 1/3 that's all. Okay. So if 1/3 is R, then A1 is 81. Then our term AN is going to be A1 times R to the power n minus 1. So that's our generic starting point. And so for the seventh term, A7, we'll want to take A1, which is 81, multiplied by R, which is 1/3, and 7 minus 1 is 6. So we'll get 81 times, now these go down like this, don't they? So we're going to get 1 to the power 6 is 1, but it'll be 3 to the power 6. Now 3 3s and 9 3s are 27. This is going to be quite a big number. The other way that we can do this is see if we can get 81 in terms of 3, and we can do some cancellations. So 9 9s are 81. So 3 3s are 9 times 3. Oh, look at that. So we're going to get 3 3s are 9 squared. So you've got to add those. So that's 4. So 3, 2. I'm doing it the long way, aren't I? Being a complete bore. That's what we wanted to end up with. That's the bit. And so we know that that's going to be 4 minus 6, which will be 3 to the minus 2 which according to our gymnastics is 1 over 3 squared, which is 1 over 9. So you can do the whole lot without a calculator. And in fact, 1 over 9 is the answer. So very good. The seventh term is 1 over 9. So just following your tracks and doing your gymnastics, it's all very doable. So 2b, find the eighth term. Well, a1 is 32. Needing to work out r, so we take a term and we do the previous term. So we're going to take 8, divide that by negative 16, which is minus a half. So we want the eighth term using our equation up here. So we're going to take the first term, multiplied by half, raised to the power 1 minus, which will be 7. So all the way again, that's got a 1 on it. Your maths guy says that's got a 1. So 7 times 1 is 7, so it's 1 to the power 7. Put the minus out the front, 1 to the power 7. Now why did I put the minus out the front? Because this is odd. So the odd negative stays. And then we've got 2 to the power 7. Okay, so again, we might be able to get 32 in terms of, so it's going to be 2 to the power, is it 5? Is 32 2 to the power 5? I think it might be 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, that's 3, 2 8s are 16, so I think we might be right. So we can do 2 to the power 5 times 1 over, negative 1 over 2 to the power 7. Okay, so now we've got minus 2 to the 5 over 2 to the 7. We're going to have minus 2 to the 5 minus 7, which will be minus 2, 2, and minus 2, which will be equal to minus 1 over 2 squared, which is minus 1 over 4. Okay, very good. So we've been able to work that one out as well. So we've been able to step through and collect our terms. Alright, so using the formula for the nth term. Using the formula for the nth term. So that was fairly good. Alright, find the first term and the common ratio for each of the following. The fourth term is 12 and the seventh term is 96. So this will be a bit harder to pull apart, but we'll have a go. Alright, so we're looking at 3, question 3, and A. The fourth term, A4 is equal to 12, A7 is equal to 96. So we know that the way that we would work these out is using our general formula, AN is sum R times, sum A1 times R to the n minus 1. So we're going to get that correct. Okay, that's what we would normally do. Now we've been given 2 of these. Okay, times 2. What we haven't been given is these guys. Okay, so I'm wondering if there's a way for us to understand how to pull these ones together. So let's think about how we might do that. How do we get that if we are going to... Now it doesn't talk about sums or anything, so we're not using any sum equations. Okay, so it's not going to be that kind of thing. All it is simply working out what our values are. So let's think about how we might do that. Thinking. Do we do some No, there's a gap, isn't there? So I think what we've got to do is really think about how we might populate this equation. So let's do that. Let's populate this equation. Let's say 12 equal to sum A1 times R. Now, that was the fourth term, so this will be R3. 96 will be equal to A1 times R, what was it? 7. So it'll be R6. That's what we would do there. Okay? Now, I'm wondering what we can do. Can we make a substitution? So, not too bad for us. I'm thinking about two equations and two unknowns. It might be the way we have to look at this. Can we do a substitution? Well, not easily. We could make A1 the subject, which would be 12 on R cubed. Then we could pop that A1 into there, which would give us a solution in terms of R. So perhaps that's what we better do. So let's take this equation and say A1 is equal to 12 over R3. And then we can take this result here and pop it into this equation. And all of a sudden we've got one equation with one unknown. 12R3 times R6. Now it's going to be possible to solve for R, isn't it? So this is going to be 6 minus 3. So 96 equals 12. 6 minus 3 is R cubed. So dividing both sides by 12. And what have we got? 8? 8? I think that's 8. So they'll cancel. So we've got 8 equals R3. Now that's convenient because 2 cubed is R cubed, isn't it? 2 2s are 4 2s are 8. So I just recognised that. Now we could have undone that by taking the log of R and going through all some kinds of things, but this is the easiest way. So therefore R seems to be 2. So we've got R is 2. R is the number which 3 is raised to. So in this case it's 2. 2 2s are 4 2s are 8. So yes, I'm quite happy with that. I think we've worked that out. So we've got R. Now what's A? Well, we can just come back up here and work it out now. So A1 is going to be 12 divided by R, which is 2 cubed. 2 2s are 4 2s are 8. So in this case it's 12 divided by 8. So it's 3 4s. I know, I'm doing that thing again, aren't I? 2 4s, there's 1 in disguise. So it's 3 over 2. So I'm reckoning that the first term in the sequence is 3 over 2 and R is 2. 3 over 2 and R is 2. So that was it. That's the answer. So we've managed to do that for part A. So R is 3. So it's just, sometimes you've got to explore, okay? Just don't be afraid to explore and see what you can come up with. Okay, so for part B of this one, A4 is minus 12 and A7 is 96. So it's the same kind of question, but around the other way. So AN is equal to A1 times R to the n minus 1. So for A4, we can say that A4 is 12. So we'll just get rid of that. I was a bit quick on doing that. So 12 is equal to, you could probably see it. You could probably see what's going to happen. It's probably going to be the same, but one of them will be a function of a minus. So, but anyway, we'll do it properly. A1, A4 is minus 12. A1 is unknown, as is R, and instead of it being 4, now it's 3. Likewise for A7, it's 96, and A1, and it's 7, so it's R6 again. So we're going through this whole rigmarole again. So we can take this one off, and we can make A1 the subject. So A1 will equal to minus 12 divided by R3. Then we can pop that one in here. So we can write 96 is equal to minus 12 on R3 times R6. Same thing again though, isn't it? So we're going to have 6 minus 3 is 3. So we're going to have minus 12R3 is equal to 96. And so what we'll be doing is pulling that one down. Minus 12 divide, minus 12 divide. And so we'll get minus 8 this time is R cubed. So that's minus 2 cubed is equal to is equal to R cubed. Okay, so we see that as a minus because it's a cube, the negative stays. So we can put a bracket in like that. So therefore R is equal to minus 2. And we put minus 2 back into one of the others and we get A1. So A1, let's just do that up here. So A1 is equal to minus 12 over minus 2 cubed. So that's an odd, you see. That's why I'm emphasising that. It's an odd. So we're still going to get a minus on the bottom. Okay. So it's 2 2s, 4 2s, 8. Now that's the same breakdown as before, but the minus over the minus, so it's going to be 3 over 2. So A is 3 over 2, and R is minus 2. So a little bit of 2 equations, 2 unknowns. That's one way to do it. I was tempted to do it another way, but I'm happy that I didn't. I'm happy to do that. All right, let's go for, we're going okay for time. It's 20 minutes, but actually I might just stop there and break these videos down into a slightly smaller chunk. So I'm going to come back and do the next part of this in the next video.